the moment I'm in a helicopter right over the top of Silverstone racetrack. Not a race day. We're here for a very special reason. If you look down there right now, you can see a crowd of people waiting by a small stage and a big crane. They're waiting to see me carry out the special illusion that we'd come to Silverstone just to see this one thing. There, by the way, down there is a man waiting to introduce my guest on the show. Will you please say hello, Mike Smith?
And down here on the ground, we have one of Britain's fastest production cars, a brand new four-wheel drive car that could do 160 miles an hour. And to drive that car, we have 3 times world motor racing champion, Jackie Stewart.
Actually managed to get back down to the ground, and but I can't escape from this jacket, which is funny. Give me a hand off, Paul, will you? This is my son, Paul, and on the other side, of course, is Debbie. Person I would like you to meet is the senior medical advisor to the BBC, Dr. Newman. Nice to have you aboard, Doctor.
Nice to see you again.
What's it like being out in the open air?
Freezing, absolutely freezing.
I know. Well, look at me, muscles galore. Now the doctor
that out here yesterday.
He did. The doctor examined me yesterday, and I've got to say, am I fit enough to do this?
Yes, I think he is. I've got really strong reservations. This is a really dangerous stunt that he's doing.
Yeah, it is, but listen, yeah, so long as I'm physically all right, you see, because when you're doing these escapes, you have to be physically fit. My thanks, of course, to you and Mike. Well, oh, Jackie, you've made it. Great. There you go. Great to see you. Great car. Lovely. Right. Oh, the autograph hunters are here. Go back. Now then, fellas, what I want you to do, first of all, is look into me. This is a large wooden crate, and it's got this large sack in it. Not only do you give a medical examination, you see, you can look at the stitches in that, Doctor, and examine that carefully, although in truth, we've had these things and these chains here examined by members of our audience. Now then, who examined the sack? I forgot who it was. Where are you? People there, yes? And you're quite happy that that's a solid sack and it's been in vision ever since. Say yes, Paul? Yes, Paul. That's the truth. And the chains, who examined the chains? It was Andrew over there. And you're happy that these are solid and they're just what they appear to be? Yes. Okay, thank you. And now, Mike, what's going to happen now is, could you do me a favour, Paul Jr.? Could you just put that in there, Doc? And Jackie, would you just look in there? This is a solid crate, but it's important there's only one sack. And on your honour, as 3 times world champion, there's only one sack.
There's only one sack.
Aye, and he's lowering that down there so that I can step into it. Now, the problem is, you see, little short legs Daniels, Mike. Sorry to blather on a bit, but I know what's going on at this stage, and you know what's going to happen next.
Right.
I have got to get in here, and my legs are too little to get into the crate. So I have a set of steps there, like that, and a wee block there. Could you take the block out for me? That's great. And now hold that, and if you'll take over, Mike, with the words, and I'll get in the sack.
Okay. So we've got all the bits and pieces gathered here. As Paul gets into the sack, we're now going to get ready to chain him into position. Now, you saw that sack being checked. It's stitched all over the place. It's absolutely solid stitching, and really heavyweight sackcloth as well. Now, the manacles, or the portacles, whatever you want to call them. Clip those on. And you can probably hear the helicopter in the background, because the helicopter is going to be very important for us to see what is going on with this stunt later on as we get into it, once we've got Paul inside the crate. That's on firmly. Get the doctor and Jackie to check those. Now, you may wonder what the flag is for that we've got here. This is really a safety device in a way, so that if Paul runs into problems, once he's locked inside the crate, so we know he's got problems, he can ram this flag, which is made of a very hard metal, the master, he can ram it through the top of the crate, which will let us know that he's got a problem so we can stop things, because once things are running, it is very difficult to stop, as you will see in a moment. I don't want to give too much away, but you've seen the fast car, you've seen the fast driver, you may be able to guess what's going to happen here. On now with that enormous length of chain, which was checked by Andrew in the audience beforehand. He gave it a good old pull. That's
I've got to
tightened up.
remind you that the man doing this is my son, who also inherits should anything go wrong.
Well, he's no fool. So, the chain goes round the body. We're just about ready. Hand in the flag. There goes
This has got a pointy end, so that should come in useful. I'll leave it outside to sack, but I should be in all right. Don't...
That's the last chance, that flag, if anything goes wrong.
Don't worry. Can I just give one last wave? I promised this to a little old lady. I'm still bound all up, and just all keep your fingers crossed. Okay.
And we'll say that it has been really nice to know you, Paul. Just in case, we ought to be really nice about it. Let's just tie that up nice and tight and into the crate. A double knot going on there from Paul Jr. And on with the lid. Now, the lid is going to be nailed on, and while the lid goes on the crate, I'll ask Jackie Stewart to get your lid on, if you would. Get your crash lid on, Jackie. That famous tartan banded helmet going into position there, to go with the fireproof overalls and the fireproof gloves, ready to drive that very fast car as we nail the lid onto the crate. Right, almost set. Now, how are we going to get this crate off the stage? Quite easy. We have an enormous crane at the side here. And we can now lower the crane in. Let's have the crane down, please. It's already chained up, and we can clip those chains onto the side of the wooden crate to lift the crate off the stage into a position on the racetrack. Now, you've probably got an even better idea of what's going to happen here. Are we all set? Doctor, is it all okay? You quite happy about things? Give me a thumbs up, Doctor, if you're quite happy about things. You're okay. Paul Jr., you all right about things? It's all safe, it's all secure. Okay, let's take up the strain on the crane. Up goes the crate. Gently does it. It's a very valuable cargo in there. Fragile is exactly the right word. We swing it out across the circuit. Now, Jackie Stewart, 3 times World Motor Racing Champion, would you go to your car, please? Off to the car for Jackie. Now, the car that Jackie's going to get into is an RS200. It does 160 miles an hour, 4-wheel drive car, specially developed for rallying and racing. He's going to get into the car as we lower the crates onto the tarmac. Jackie makes sure where that position of the crate is going to be. He's had a last look at that. On with his seat belts. We are set almost for this to begin. Now, the idea is that Jackie Stewart is going to go from a standing start onto the Grand Prix circuit here at Silverstone. He's off and away. Now, this is an almost 3-mile circuit. While he's driving round the circuit, Paul Daniels is going to have to get out from inside that crate. We've lifted the chains away on the crane. The crate is on its own. It's isolated in the middle of the tarmac here at Silverstone. And Paul has just about 2 minutes to get out of the crate. There is the racing car, roaring down towards Copse Corner here at Silverstone, a place that Jackie Stewart has driven around many times and won at many times in his career. He powers now down towards Beckett's Corner. Let's look at the crate, look for the red flag. If the red flag comes out, that means we have to stop because Paul has a problem getting out of it. But so far, no sign of that at all, no movement in the crate. Is he going to get out of this in time? Where's Jackie now on the circuit? On the circuit, he's at Beckett's. Beckett's is the hairpin on the far side of the circuit from where we are at the start line area. That car now getting down towards the hangar straight. He'll be going through a bend onto the hangar straight now. Onto the fastest part of the course, up to his maximum speed of 160 miles an hour. He's halfway around the course. There's still no sign of Paul coming out of the crate. That crate looks very lonely sitting there in the middle of the start line area. No sign of Paul coming out. Where's the car? The car is down at Stowe. He's at Stowe Corner at the end of the long hangar straight. Now he goes up towards Club Corner. And powering his way back towards us. He's now about 2/3 of the way around the circuit. Not long to go, just a few seconds to go on this. still going extremely quickly. He's doing about 140, 150 miles an hour here, heading up towards a left-hand bend, which you'll see, and then he comes onto the final straight. There's still no sign of Paul coming out of the crate. Through the left-hand turn, he goes. There he goes now, through the left-hand turn, and off and up towards this area, through the bridge. That's the last bridge before he comes to us. Where's the red flag's out? The red flag is out. Paul has problems. No. There's Jackie Stewart. Where is Paul? It's Paul Daniels! Paul Daniels has got out of the corner. There he is on the down down the circuit. Paul Daniels is with us. My heart can start beating again. And look who's driving the crane. Jackie Stewart driving the crane here at Silverstone. That was the most frightening moment of my life. I have never, ever experienced anything like that. That was just the most frightening thing.
Sorry.
Oh, my God.
The only person we didn't tell was him. You've been reliving that, haven't you?
I've been reliving it and reliving it.
You see, the thing was, he really was the only person there amongst the team. The audience didn't know. He was the only guy who we didn't tell what was going to happen. He really was. So my thanks to the Silverstone Driving School and to Jackie, of course, who did a fabulous job in winding him up. And, and to you, I hope you're well over. It took you about an hour and a half, didn't it?
I was going down the M1 home from that, and I was shaking in the car, and I had to stop and have a think.
But you were great. You really were great. And thanks for taking part in it.
I used to have black hair before I did that.
Get over with that, and we'll let you watch a little bit more of it as we wind it up in slow motion. All the
Cheers.
best.
Thank you very much.
Through the left-hand turn, he goes. There he goes now, through the left-hand turn, and off and up towards this area, through the bridge. That's the last bridge before he comes to us. Where's the red flag's out? The red flag is out. Paul has problems. No. There's Jackie Stewart. Where is Paul?